Vishnupad Paramahams Parivrajacharya Astodasat Srimad Shila Abhay Charnavrind Bhaktivedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nananda Koti Vaishnavrind Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Nitai Go Premanande Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Today we'll be reading from Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Status Quo, Chapter 13, The Appearance of Lord Varaha, text number 27. We'll all do Mangal Shara. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vangsha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patithana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevayat Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Text 13, not 13, chapter 13, text 27. Uchiptavala Kachara Kathora Uchiptavala Kachara Kathora Sata Vidhunvan Kararoma Shatvak Sata Vidhunvan Kararoma Shatvak Kurahatabhra Sitadam Shtraiksha Kurahatabhra सितदं श्रईक्षा ज्योतिर्भवा से भगवान महीद्रा ज्योतिर्भवा से भगवान महीद्रा उत्क्षिप्त वाला खचरा कठोरा उत्क्षिप्त वाला कचरा कठोरा सता विधुन्वन खररोमशस्त्वक सता विधुन्वन खररोमशस्त्वक कुराहताब्रा सितदं श्रईक्षा कुराहताब्रा सितदं श्रईक्षा ज्योतिर्भवा से भगवान महीद्रा ज्योतिर्भवा से भगवान महीद्रा वैष्णवास उत्क्षिप्त वाला कचरा कठोरा सता विधुन्वन खररोमशस्त्वक कुराहताब्रा सितदं श्रईक्षा ज्योतिर्भवा से भगवान महीद्रा उत्सृज्य वाल कचरा कठोरा सता विधुन्वान खररोमशस्त्वक कुराहताभ्रा सितदं श्रईक्षा ज्योतिर्भवा से भगवान महीद्रा उत्क्षिप्त वाला कचरा कठोरा सता विधुन्वान खररोमशस्त्वक कुराहताब्रा सितदं श्रईक्षा ज्योतिर्भवा से भगवान महीद्रा उत्क्षिप्त वाला कचरा कठोरा सता विधुन्वान खररोमशस्त्वक कुराहताब्रा सितदं श्रईक्षा ज्योतिर्भवा से भगवान महीद्रा word for word उत्क्षिप्त वाला slashing with the tail Khacharaha in the sky, Katoraha very hard, Sata hairs on the shoulder, Vidhunvan quivering, Khara sharp, Romashatwak skin full of hairs, Kurahata struck by the hooves, Abraha, the clouds, Sitadamshra, white tusks, Iksha, glance, Jyotihi, luminous, Babase, began to emit an effulgence. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Mahidraha, the supporter of the world. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Chanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Before entering the water to rescue the earth, Lord Boar flew in the sky, slashing his tail, his hard hairs quivering. His very glance was luminous, and he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hooves and his glittering white tusks. Purport. When the Lord is offered prayers by his devotees, his transcendental activities are described. Here are some of the transcendental features of Lord Bor. As the residents of the upper three planetary systems offered their prayers to the Lord, it is understood that his body expanded throughout the sky, beginning from the topmost planet Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. It is stated in the Brahma Samhita that his eyes are the sun and the moon. Therefore, his very glance over the sky was illuminating as the sun or the moon. The Lord is described herein as Mahidra, which means either a big mountain or the sustainer of the earth. In other words, the Lord's body was as big and hard as the Himalayan mountain. Otherwise, how was it possible that he kept the entire earth on the support of his white tusks? The poet Jayadev, a great devotee of the Lord, has sung of the incident in his prayers for the incarnation. Vashati dashana shikhare dharani tava lagna shashini kalanka kaleva nimagna keshavadrita sukara rupa jai jagadish hare. All glories to Lord Keshava, Krishna, who appears as the boar. The earth was held between his tusks, which appeared like the scars on the moon. Jai. So this is here. Lord is showing his what is that, valor. He's showing his valor, right? So that's why Lord Vara is considered a bit unique in the way he presents himself, right? So first we will probably look at how Lord Vara has come. He has come through the contemplation of Brahma, right? Swayambhuva Manu asked him, so what should we do? The earth is submerged. So what does Brahma do? He starts contemplating. He's sitting and he's contemplating. And as the outcome of his contemplation, Lord Varaha comes. So this is one learning for all of us. That sometimes when we have a problem, if we contemplate on the problem, Krishna will help. Now, of course, being materially affected. When we look at a problem, we're like, oh, Krishna will help us. Maybe if I have a math problem, or if I have an exam, or if I have an IT problem, or if I have a problem with my boss. We take all of these problems and say, if I contemplate, will Krishna come and help me? Right? So that can be one consideration, right, when we read this story. So what we have to understand here is the mood of the contemplation of Brahma. When we see Brahma's conversation with Manu, he is telling that actually Krishna is the supreme. Everything that we do is for Krishna. Krishna is the benefactor. Krishna is who, if we please Krishna, we will benefit the entire universe. Right? This is Brahma's presentation. Now, if we get this presentation of Brahma, then our contemplation will yield Krishna. Right? But usually when we are trying to solve a math problem, why are we solving it? So I get the marks. Right? If I am trying to resolve an issue with my boss, why am I doing it? So I have a good working environment. Are you noticing? So all of my problems and its contemplations that I am doing is for my satisfaction, not for Krishna's satisfaction. Right? But then the way we as devotees, we are intelligent. Right? Lord Chaitanya says devotees chatura. So we tell Krishna, Krishna, see, I am disturbed right now. If I become normal, then I can serve you better. Right? That is the contemplation. But actually that is not how it works. That is not how. No, the situation is Krishna. Right? And so Krishna will resolve the situation. Right? So just to explain what happens. Lord Vara comes, he picks Mother Earth. What does he do after that? He marries Mother Earth. He marries her. Why? Why doesn't he just say, okay, Brahma, here you go. It's yours. No, it is his. It is Krishna's. Is that making sense? Why is Lord Vara come? He picks the earth and he marries her. Because it is Krishna's energy. It is his potency. So right, it is not Brahma's potency or Manu's potency or some other some other contemporary, like a demigod. It's not their potency. It is Krishna's potency. So when Krishna is lifting Mother Earth up, he marries her. Varaha marries Bhumi Devi. Right? So that is why you will generally see in Vishnu temples, you will generally see like Shri, Bhu and Neela. The three energies. Right? So it is explained that Shri will be towards Krishna's left. So that's just like Radharani is there. Bhu will be generally to the right, because it is generally explained the left side is spiritual, right side is material. Right? So generally you'll see Krishna, same, all of the typical pictures are like that, like left up, right down, right? So then Bhu is there, and then the lotus on which Lord Vishnu stands, that is Neela. Right? So the three energies. Right? So it is explained here that these are Krishna's energies. So when Lord Vara, so Brahma is contemplating, okay, how should I solve this matter? Lord Vara comes. Now Brahma's contemplation is for the satisfaction of Krishna. If we can understand this, his contemplation for the satisfaction of Krishna. So therefore the result of his contemplation is Krishna personally appears. So for us as devotees, we have to grasp this. Sometimes we may be going through, many problems, social problems, legal problems, economic problems, political problems, right? So, there could be educational problems, there could be n number of problems we are facing. If our contemplation of that problem is not for the satisfaction of Krishna, this is the key word. If the contemplation of that problem is not for the satisfaction of Krishna, Krishna will not come to help. Is that making sense? And so this is how we have to observe problems. We have to start observing. See, we are observing situation, right? For us, every problem is a situation. And remember one thing, every problem we face is material. We do not face any spiritual problems as devotees. Right? We have no spiritual problems. Srila Prabhupada said, it's a very easy process. I apologize. Very simple process. And so because it is simple, there are no problems in it. Right? In math, which problem is hard to solve, which is complicated? A simple problem is not, hard to solve. It's very quick to solve. Right? So this process is simple. But all of our problems are material. Is that making sense? Our problems are material. It's got nothing to do with spirituality. Right? So sometimes I may have a problem with this devotee, I may have a problem with that. These are all material problems. They got nothing to do with spirituality. Right? Nothing to do with our spiritual nature, our service to Krishna. But what we then do is we take this material problem, our contemplation of this material problem is my satisfaction. Are you understanding? That's how we contemplate a problem. I'm having a problem with this devotee. Why am I having a problem with this devotee? That my tushta, my satisfaction is not being maintained. I am not being satisfied. Not that is Krishna being satisfied. Are you understanding how the vision changes? So as a devotee, if we change our vision the way Brahma has and say, what is it for the satisfaction of Krishna? Our contemplation will give a good result. And here the outcome of the contemplation is Lord Vara. Right? So this is the first aspect that we can see now. Lord Vara is showing his opulence. He's showing his greatness. Right? In this shloka. So first says that Lord Vara has come to personally solve this problem because Brahma's contemplation is perfect. Right? So this is our first appreciation. Like this is how we first appreciate this problem. Right? And if we can apply this even remotely, then we will see that our smarana will also give rise to Krishna. And Krishna will solve the problem. He will solve it. Right? So this is the first contemplation for us. Right? Now our second part. We are seeing, the devotees from Jana Loka, Tapa Loka, Mahar Loka in these previous shlokas, right? They are all thinking, hey, who is this Lord Vara? They are contemplating. Why are they contemplating? Because they are Brahmavadis. Right? So most of them are Brahmavadis. Most of these people sitting in these lokas are Brahmavadis. So what do you mean by Brahmavadi? Is that their understanding is that everything is Brahman. They are not Mayavadis, just to be very clear. They are not Mayavadis, they are Brahmavadis. Right? So we have to distinguish first a Mayavad from a Brahmavad. Right? So they are just purely Brahmavads. Now as a Brahmavads, they are contemplating. Right? They are thinking, who is this personality? Right? And then as they are contemplating and observing, they come to a conclusion that, oh, this must be the Supreme Lord. Right? Through through the watching the opulence of this personality, they are coming to the conclusion that this person is Bhagavan. Right? Whatever I've read in the Shastra, I can observe this. So this, first you have to understand. A Brahmavad, because he has no concept of the Lord. A Brahmavad, if he has no concept of the Lord, if he sees anyone doing something spectacular, he starts thinking maybe this is Bhagavan. Are you understanding? Because Brahmavad doesn't have a contemplation of who is the Lord. We see the 4 Kumaras, they get mesmerized by the smell of tulsi. Are you understanding? They're thinking, how opulent is this smell of tulsi? Are you appreciating? So a Brahmavad, when they start seeing a little opulence, they start thinking, okay, maybe this is Bhagavan. And so you will notice this in modern theism. You will see in Catholic religion or in Christianity, you will notice that they start thinking Jesus is God. Right? So that is their conclusion. In most of the Catholic teachings, they will tell you that Jesus is God, because they are seeing some opulence, and because they are seeing some opulence, for them, oh, then this must be God. So Brahmavads have this contemplation. So there is a limitation in the way they observe the world. Whereas now we as devotees, we look at this very differently. Right? It's not like their conclusion is wrong. So this is the point. I'm not saying the Brahmavad's conclusion is wrong. What we are saying is we are looking at it from Shabda down. We are saying, oh, Krishna is the supreme, so now he has come as Lord, the boar incarnation. Whereas they are looking at, oh, the boar incarnation is supreme. Are you understanding? What's the difference? We are looking at Lord Vara as an expansion of Krishna. They are looking at Lord Vara as the supreme. Now, is Lord Vara supreme? Yes, he is. He is Vishnu Tattva. Yes, he is supreme. Right? But that is still Paramatma realization. Are you understanding? The Brahmavads have come, when they have seen Lord Vara, they have come to Paramatma realization. They have not come to Bhagavan realization. Is that making sense? Because why have they come to Paramatma realization? They are seeing the localized controller. I am in trouble. I see a person who can solve it. Localized controller. So they are now at Paramatma realization. They have not even gone up to Bhagavan. Whereas when devotees are looking at it, when I say devotees, mean, we under the parampara of Srila Prabhupada. When we are observing it, we are looking at it from Shabda, we are looking at it from Krishna, right, Bhagavan. And now we are looking at, okay, now Krishna has come as Paramatma form, as Lord Varaha, to solve this specific problem. Are you getting? So the incarnations end up as the Paramatma feature, unless we can connect it to Krishna. So that's why many people will read Mahabharata and they believe Krishna is supreme. They'll read Mahabharata. They believe Krishna is supreme, but their realization is Paramatma realization. It is not Bhagavan realization. Are you understanding the difference? Like they will read Mahabharata, you'll see many Sri Sampradayas, they will read Mahabharata, they'll say, yes, Krishna is, amazing personality, he's supreme. Supreme, but Paramatma realization. Right? And then they pray Vishnu. Are you understanding? So that's why you may be contemplating, okay, they have read the Shastra, how come they're not concluding that Krishna is supreme? Because for them, they are stuck at Paramatma realization. In Paramatma Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami makes this point. Right? That how, if we just observe it from a localized controller, we are always in Paramatma realization. So most of the times, when we will stand in front of Radha Gopinath, say, Radha Gopinath, I have a problem. We are looking for Paramatma. We're not looking for Bhagavan. Is that making sense? So our contemplation at that time is Paramatma, not Bhagavan. And what is the ardent desire of our acharyas? That we should see Bhagavan, not Paramatma. Are you noticing? So it's a very minute shift. It is unnoticeable. It is so minute that you can't even notice this. It's just unnoticed. But most of the times, like I'll come in front of Radha Gopinath and say, Radha Gopinath, office some problems, home some problems. My son's not doing this, my daughter's not doing this. You're contemplating, right? So what are you looking? You're standing in front of Radha Gopinath, you're staring at Radha Gopinath, but you're looking at Paramatma. You're asking for Paramatma. You're looking for that localized controller to solve these small problems. Are you noticing? So that is why our vision scatters. And then we are thinking, why I'm not getting prema? Like, where is my prema? That's where your prema is stuck. So like this is where the prema is stuck. You have reached nishtha. You have reached Nishtha. You have now established. But you are not going beyond that. Right? And what is our surety? Pratigya tava govinda name bhakta pranashyati. Right? That is our Nishtha. Pratigya tava govinda name bhakta pranashyati. What is that? What is that? Paramatma realization. Iti samsmritya prana sandhara. Are you getting? That thinking of this, I am living my life. Right? Paramatma realization. Are you getting? Is that making sense? So when we see this, we're like, okay. So that is why when you start seeing our acharyas in Nectar of Devotion, why are they saying Anya Vilasha Shunya? They're saying finish that off. Remove it. Then you get to see Bhagavan. Is that making sense? Is this idea making sense? So this is the next thing we have to see. That when Lord Vara comes out, first the contemplation, because it is on for the pleasure of Krishna, Krishna comes. That is the first thing. Second thing is when we are seeing this personality of Krishna solving the problem, when we are having gratitude towards it, that is Paramatma realization. That is not pure bhakti. Right? So sometimes I'm in trouble and it gets solved. I say thank you Krishna. That thank you Krishna, that is not bhakti. That thank you Krishna is an exchange. Are you getting? That's the exchange. So this is where we have to start seeing the difference in the layers. Right? So here, now the Janaloka, Tapaloka, Vaishnava, they are also devotees, so Vaishnavas in one sense. So they are thinking, okay, who is this, what is this? And then they're like, okay, this is Bhagavan. So they are coming to that, this is Bhagavan, right? This is a personality. Right? And now, just to prove that point, Lord Vara has increased in size. And he's showcasing his opulence. Right? So now this is the scene. Now what we have to contemplate here, right, is you can appreciate why the theists, they don't like this idea that God has a form. General theist. When I use the word theist, I'm talking about modern theism. Right? Modern religion, Christianity, Muslim, Buddhism, Jainism, right? The modern religion. They don't like this idea of God has a form. Because when they hear this, they look at you, they look at you and say, so say that again. What was that again? There was a boar? Yeah. And he was God? Just think about it. For a minute, drop your bhakti. And hear this again. Before entering the water to rescue the earth, Lord Boar flew in the sky, slashing his tail, his hard hairs quivering. You're thinking, what kind of fantasy is this? Isn't it? If you just drop the bhakti garb for 1 second, what kind of fantasy is this? What did you say? Lord Boar? You're saying there is a boar, an actual boar. Yeah. Yes. What was his color again? Neela. Blue, a blue boar. Yeah. And he is as big as space. Yes. Dude, you nuts. You're nuts. Isn't it? It feels nutty. Doesn't it feel nutty? Right? So this you have to, so that the reason why I'm pointing this out is sometimes when you may be discussing with people who, are so much into the Brahmavad that they cannot appreciate the idea that God has a form, you can understand that, okay, maybe when they hear these incarnations, they struggle with it. It's a struggle. They struggle with this idea that how can this God have a form? All right? So what happens here is that we can even appreciate how modern theism goes away from deity worship. The paganism, the typical paganism, how they flip away from it. Because it doesn't feel real. Right? Why? Because it's not pratyaksha. Right? I cannot observe it. Now, a scientist will come and tell you, okay, Brahma contemplated, Vara came out from his nose. Yes, you're a devotee of Krishna. A lot of problems in this world today. Why don't you contemplate and remove Krishna? Right? A scientist will ask for this. And in fact, he may even take up this process to see, okay, let me see if this God is real. Let me contemplate. Do you think Krishna will come for it? No. Why? Is his contemplation for the satisfaction of Krishna? No. His contemplation is for his satisfaction. So my knowledge is, improved. Are you getting? So will Krishna come? No, he won't. And now if Krishna wants to come, he can come. He's, Swarat. He's independent. So I'm not saying he can't come. What I'm saying is, but the general thing is Krishna won't come for this reason.
For this specific thing, no. Why? That is why we began this whole idea of contemplation. Because if through Pratyaksha and Anuman, through just these two, Pratyaksha and Anuman, through these two, if we are thinking, okay, I can see Krishna through these two, what will you gain from these two? What do you think you will gain? You will gain satisfaction that, oh, okay, I saw Krishna. Right? I saw Krishna. So next time when you are having a conversation, is it, did you see God? Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. That is it. It's not for the satisfaction of Krishna at all. So therefore, you will not get that result. Is that making sense? That is why you will not. And that is why we may be sitting and thinking, I've been chanting for so long, what's going on? Yeah, but we are chanting for our satisfaction. Chant and be happy. Right? We are trying to be happy. We are doing it for our satisfaction. But actually we are chanting for the satisfaction of Krishna. And actually as this chant, Krishna will become happy, then we will be happy. That's the hope. Right? That is the hope. But we are thinking, no, chant, why am I not happy? Why am I not happy? Why am I not happy? No, that is because Krishna is not happy. That's why you're not happy. That's the reason. Krishna is not happy, you're not happy. So if Krishna becomes happy, you will become happy. It's that simple. Srila Prabhupada, would finish his 16 rounds, take his japamala, put it on side and said, now bring any business. Bring it. What problem is it? This temple, this temple. Anyone of you have read that, I'll build you a temple, Giriraj Maharaj, the book? Oh, fired up book, because that is giving you a day by day, and when I say day by day means, morning, afternoon, evening, day by day account of the problems that they were facing. Like day by day account. And it is really intense. Like, when you're reading it, I was like, will they ever get out of this? Like, the end of the story, but you're like, man, this is too intense. Right? You're reading and thinking, what's going on here? Right? So you'll start seeing. So Srila Prabhupada finished 16 rounds, put Japamala down. Okay, no. Bring any business. What is the problem? What's the issue? Because Tushta. Because he is Tushta. Srila Prabhupada was Tushta. Why was he Tushta? Because Krishna was Tushta. Right? Srila Prabhupada is doing his service. Krishna is extremely happy. Srila Prabhupada is happy. And now he's dealing with the material world. Somebody had asked Srila Prabhupada, right? When they saw his passport photographs. You guys have seen Srila Prabhupada's passport photograph? You've seen, right? He says, Srila Prabhupada, you're looking very sober. He says, sober? I'm in ecstasy. Even when you see the photograph, it doesn't feel like it. I don't know if you've seen the photograph. Right? Have you seen it? Very beautiful photograph of Srila Prabhupada. So he was asking, Srila Prabhupada, you're very sober at this time. He says, no, I was in ecstasy. I'm going somewhere. I was in great ecstasy. So this, see, we are doing Pratyaksha and Anuman. So Pratyaksha and Anuman, we are trying to judge. He's not happy. He's not happy. He's not happy. No one's happy. But so Pratyaksha and Anuman, no. Through Shabda we have to see. Right? And through Shabda, now we can see, okay, he's actually happy. This person's actually sad. You see, through Shabda, you can notice that difference. So this is something for us to understand. So, we can appreciate why somebody who is from modern religion or modern theism may look at this idea of deity worship and say, that's weird. Right? We can appreciate because we are, reading here, Lord Boar is flying. I like that, Lord Boar. Lord Boar. The Lord Boar is flying. Varaha. Lord Varahadev, right? He's flying. It seems a bit weird. See, it's weird enough, something comes out of the nose. That's weird. Okay, then it happens to be a boar. That's weird. And now he's flying around. What's going on? You know that term, no? When the pigs will fly. You heard that? When we were kids. When the pigs will fly, then it'll happen. He's flying. The pigs are flying. so the point here, it seems a little exaggerated. Right? It seems. And so now, for us, it is a bit hard. Now people in Jana and Tapa Loka, they are Brahmavas. So they're thinking, man, this is Bhagavan. This is it. This is God. We found it. Right? So this is the idea. Like this is how everyone is observing this Leela. Right? So we are talking about the contemplation. Then we are talking about how Lord Varaha is coming out. Then how a modern theist, when he observes this, because he is only doing Pratyaksha and Anuman, he is not able to get this. He's not able to figure this out. Right? And so what is our inspiration? You are all doing, you are giving books out. You are saying, no, read Shabda and you will figure it out. You have to read Shabda. Through Pratyaksha and Anuman, we cannot figure it out. But then we are suckers for Pratyaksha and Anuman. Right? So we will stand here, look at Radha Gopinath saying, did you look at me? Because we were looking, we want that pratyaksha. We want that pratyaksha. We're like, yes, I saw. Sometimes I'm sitting and I'm, looking and the fan is on. The fan, sometimes in summers, it's very hot, the fan is on. So, you'll see Radha, something is always moving in Radha Gopinath, when the fan is on, right? So I'm thinking, oh, maybe have I reached that stage? Maybe I have. Maybe I'm the pure devotee here. Mind, contemplates, right? So you're thinking, but no, through pratyaksha and anuman, you're not going to get it. You're just not going to get it. Through shabda. So that is it. That is why when, darshanarti happens, when we are doing darshanarti, why don't we just stand and do darshan? No, we are doing shloka. Angani asya sakalendriya vritti manti. Why? We are trying to hear from shabda. Through shabda we have to see darshan. Are you understanding? Why in the darshan, why in any arti there is singing? Why are we doing that? Because through shabda we have to observe. The darshan has to happen through shabda. It cannot happen by me just standing here. Just came here. Hey, what's up, Krishna? Doing well? Yeah. I'm doing well too. Yeah, okay. Yeah. What were you doing, Prabhu? I was talking to Krishna. Everything is good. No, that's not how it works. No, you come here, you do shabda. And through the process of shabda, darshan will happen. Right? So this is our intense presentation, that it has to come through shabda. And then through shabda, as we are seeing this will make sense. Otherwise, we will be like the Jana Loki, Tapa Loki, Mahar Lokis. We'll be sitting there and thinking, how did this happen? What's going on here? And they are discussing, intense discussion, maybe this, maybe that. No. If a devotee is standing, he's like, yeah, this is the pure devotee, this is Krishna himself. The devotee instantly understands that. But these guys, they are contemplating, discussing maybe this, maybe that. Right? We will see so much so that when Prahlad, right? Prahlad is brought by his dad and says, your Vishnu is here in the pillar. He's saying, yeah. So his smarana, and his smarana is so strong. Prahlad's smarana is so strong that when he breaks it, actually Krishna comes up. Just like here in Lord Vara, the same thing happens with Prahlad. His smarana is so solid that Narasimhadev comes. He says, yes, I'm here. What's the issue? So that's how we observe. That, if smarana is always for the pleasure of, Krishna, then yes, Krishna will come through through good times and bad times, Krishna will come. We want Krishna to come in the bad times, right? When the good times are there, you don't want to share your puri with Krishna. It's your plate of prasadam, man. You don't want to, like imagine you're sitting, you've been fasting the whole day and then, you get a plate of prasadam and then Krishna shows up, you're like, oh man, I got to give him my puri. So, good times, no, but bad times we want Krishna. But actually a devotee, when smarana is completely in Krishna, then in the good times and the bad time, he will have Krishna. Right? So then in every moment there is Krishna. So that's how Shabda helps. Right? So now here we will look at some of the qualities. Right? We'll see that Utshipta Vala. He says that Krishna is, in Lord Vara, he's slashing his tail. So in Krishna Samhita by Bhakti Vinod Swami, what he does is he tries to present evolution using the incarnations, right? And so this is one of the Lord Vara. He says that now it is now from from a fish to a turtle, right? From a fish to a turtle, meaning you have a little bit of a back, to now Vara you have a vertebra. Vara has a vertebra, right? So he's explaining that, this is the evolution. Then he says, then from here, Narsimha, half man, half lion. So you see, and then you get Parshuram, the wild man. You see? So he explains all of this, right? And so he's taking Varadev and explaining, even through to the evolutionary scientist, he's explaining that here is Lord Vara showing the vertebra incarnation. Here's a vertebra incarnation. Your straight back, here's Lord Vara. Right? And so, this Lord Vara, he has a tail and he's slashing his tail. And slashing it so hard that everyone is shaking. So, again, it is hard for us to contemplate something like this. But, sometimes when, harsh wind blows. Sometimes when harsh wind blows, you can appreciate, maybe somewhere, some place, maybe either Ananta Seish or Krishna has just moved his tail. Maybe in 5 universes away, Vara has, moved his tail and the wind's blowing here. So, he's extremely powerful. Krishna's incarnations, they're extremely powerful. I don't know when you see in Narsimhadev, when it says that when Narsimhadev rode, he broke the fabric of space and time. That's something, eh? You tell a scientist that there is something that can break the fabric of space and time, they'll fall down. Because for them, this is the ultimate. Because they are in Vaisheshika. So in Vaisheshika, space is the highest. Right? So you're saying something broke that. Oh my God. How did that happen? So, for them is that great. So yeah, but Narsimhadev in that shloka has explained, he broke the fabric of space and time. His roar, just his sound. So here also Lord Vara does the same thing. It is explained that his sound vibrations, just shook everyone. Right? And so now here his tail, then he's saying that Utsipta Valaha Khachara, Kha meaning sky. So Kha is the ultimate for Vaisheshika, for the scientists. Right? So he says that Krishna, he's Khachara. That then he was in that same sky, he was moving. Right? Then Katora is very hard. In Vidagdha Madhava, there's very nice interaction between Krishna and Radharani. And so Rupa Goswami explained, and then so Krishna says that, Radharani is telling Krishna, that Krishna, why are you, glorifying me? He's saying that all my dasha avatars are in you. So he's, glorifying Radharani. He says, all my dasha avatars are in you. And then one of this, he talks about this Kathora. And then using Sanskrit poetry, Rupa Goswami, it also means chest, and then it also means Varaha. Right, both. So then the Dasha Avatar, so Lord Krishna glorifies Radharani and says, yes, even in you that I can see Lord Varaha. Right? So then that beauty is there. So this Kathora, although Kathora sounds very hard, but then there are sweeter forms that we can use of this word. Right? Then there is Sata. Sata means the hairs on Krishna's Krishna meaning here Vara's shoulder were quivering. Vidhuna, were quivering. So when you see boars, I don't know if you've seen a boar, you've seen their hair, they're quite spiky, spiky and like standing hairs. Right? And I was once seeing a boar fighting with a lion. So his hairs are all up, and I was like, yeah. So, they're quite, angry animals, boar, they're not very big, but that a small wild boar, it was fighting with a lion. It gets very angry. When boar gets angry, it doesn't contemplate what's going on. It just starts attacking. Right? So, it says that hair is standing, so that quivering hair, it is. Then it says, Khara, Shab, it says, Khara Romasha Tvaka, means that hair, skin is filled with hair and it is quivering. Then Kurahata, he says that this, this sky in which Krishna is walking, it is getting shattered because Varadev is just walking on it with his hooves. Right, on the entire space he's walking. Right, so then, Sita Damshra, and he says this white tusk. So again, the Damshra meaning the teeth. And so with Krishna's teeth, he's lifting earth. And what is earth? Mrityuloka. So again, the teeth is very aptly positioned. The material world, very aptly positioned in Krishna's teeth. Because it's the material world, right? And so Krishna's teeth is the, time of death. Right? That, Damshra Karala, right? So that's very, very poetic and very nice. And then he says that, and such a personality, he is Bhagavan. And he's Mahidraha. He's supporter of the world. So Mahidraha is also that he is the husband of Bhumi Devi. So yeah, we will end here. Sorry, we went a bit over time, but this is a nice contemplation in this about this Leela and how everything functions very nicely. The devotees want to share something? No? All right. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama